Why
Got you
don't men
covered.
twerk? If it was a thing and it was a different dance and it was like twerking, why wouldn't all the men twerk? Because why do women have to twerk? I'm confused.
We have to work
Most people aren't
party in
interested in a man's ass. That's
uh,
just not a
Men
thing.
and
Nobody
women
wants to see a
twerk.
man
Like
twerk.
that's why we twerk. We twerk because twerking is life. Duh.
That's the
But
culture that we were
I want
talking
to know
about
why
earlier.
men don't follow each other as much as women follow each other.
Because women are children.
I, you know what? I don't
Well,
twerk,
women
but
are
I feel
communal
like
thinkers.
the type of dance that some women like my age do is a little more sexual than twerking. Like I think like the Caribbean girls would know something about whining and stuff
That's
like that.
whining.
That's
That's different.
more
Make me
sexual than twerking.
sweat. Make me holler.
Exactly.
We're trying to main ones talking about them niggas that used to hip roll back in the day. Y'all clown them niggas every day. Don't sit here and ask us why don't men twerk, because y'all don't like that shit.
I just got a question.
Hey,
I got a question for the girls that's acting uppity. Y'all wasn't twerking when Pretty Ricky was out. I know y'all was twerking. So y'all better cut that.
no, we weren't.
Y'all
And
better
the
cut
niggas
that.
hey,
Pretty Ricky.
I was body rolling.
I don't think that anybody has to be a prude, right? That's not what we're really getting at, because that's too much, right? Or a robe, as somebody described before. That's not what we really need, right? We just want somebody who just knows how to conduct themselves. Just like there's certain things that are expected of us, right? There's a certain level of masculinity that is demanded upon us, right? And we accept that, right? We understand that there's certain things that we have to be in order to obtain women. We know that we have to work on ourselves. There's plenty of things we got to do. We know we have to be set to provide. We have to have our stuff together. We have to have structure, right? We have to be a good leader. There's so many things that are demanded of us. We got to make sure we smell good, we look good. We don't just go out there like, well, the most of us anyway, right? Once we understand what it is that we have to do, we accept what it is that we have to do to obtain a woman, a wife, a girlfriend, or whatever. We know it's things that comes with it, right? It's understandably hard for men and women. We accept it. We know what we need to do, right? To do our part to attract women, to keep women. We know what we have to do, and we do it. So all we're saying is that we just don't want men. If you don't know, men don't want women who have a lot of experience with other men, right? And no matter how you spin it, if we see a woman behaving in a certain way, we're thinking like, oh, damn, I already know what time it is with her. And I'll tell you this, 9 out of 10 times, I was never wrong.
Yeah.
It didn't take me long to size it up. I knew what the female was about. She could run her mouth for a minute. I could just see how she moving, and I already know. I know what's up with the woman, and nobody can't tell me that. Any lady want to disagree, you probably haven't dated more ladies than me. That's all I'm going to say. So it didn't take me long to size a woman up, see what she's about. I knew who to go for. I knew who would take more time. This lady might take 2 weeks. This lady might tonight. And this one I have to work on. We know that as men. Once you deal with enough women, you understand that. We know what the thresholds are. So we could go ahead and say, okay, we don't want to do this, but we know what type of woman you are just based on how you moving. Just like you size up men every day. You know what type of dude you dealing with just by looking at him, talking to him for a minute, and you realize whether you want to deal with him right away or not. That's all we're saying.
Child, please listen. I got a question for y'all. Okay, what would he talk about? Because anybody even. First of all, I want to know when Cash Money is taking over for the 99 and 2000s.
Everybody twerking.
Like it's
Everybody twerking.
Yes.
Everybody twerking.
Every last one of them shaking their ass.
Every last one of y'all. Y'all don't stop capping.
Every last one of them, including Lady Di.
What I'm saying is, I never said I ain't never twerk in my life, okay? I'm saying that when I decided that I wanted to be married for a while, I'm saying that I understand that men don't like a certain type of lady. So I ain't gonna be that, or I'm just not gonna be married. So I wanted marriage and I wanted kids. So this is what I wanted to do. Everybody don't have the same agenda. Some people, they conform to their job. They do whatever their job is saying to get money. It's the same thing. I wanted marriage. So that's what I'm saying. I just wanted to make sure I didn't look and blend in with people that are not of marriage material. So that's all I'm saying.
I was gonna say that when you are in a relationship, you have to think about the other person. So if they don't like something, or is going to embarrass them in front of society, then you have to like tone it down. And so if you want to be married, you got to think about the other person. If you don't want to be married or in a relationship, then you could think about yourself. But you can't make people like say stay selfish and then still be married. Like as soon as you have a child, you realize that all of that is out the window. You always got to think about somebody else. As soon as you're married, you realize that you always got to keep the other person in mind. And I just think that we've seen on the panel, some men are, small percentage of them are okay with twerking, but the majority, they don't want that. They don't want to have that image out there, and you represent them and he represents you. And the last thing I would say is the equivalent is like, if your man was walking around with his pockets empty, showing everybody he was broke, you would be embarrassed and you'd be like, please, honey, don't do that no more. So therefore, that's kind of like similar to me in my mind of how it looks for a man to see his wife twerking out there.
Can I just say one more thing to add to hers? That was a good response, great response. But you left out one more thing. I get it. You have daughters. Also, if you're an influencer, if you have people looking up to you, like young girls and stuff, that's also important, even if they're not your kids. Because I think we give people a pass. If they don't want to get married or they don't want to have kids, we give them a pass. No, you got to understand as a people, you know what I'm saying? You got other people looking at you, you know, they inspired by you. You also got to consider that too, because I mean, you look at Megan Thee Stallion and all these other women on that have all these millions of followers and young girls up under them, and they're getting influenced by them too. So you got to consider that as well.
Why don't it work? If it was a thing and it was a different dance and it was like twerking, why wouldn't all the men twerk? Because why do women have to twerk? I'm confused.
Most people aren't interested in the men's ass. That's just not a thing.
Nobody wants to see a man
Like,
twerk.
That's why we twerk. We twerk because twerking is life. Duh.
That's the culture that we were talking about earlier.
Why men don't follow each other as much as women follow each other?
Because women are children.
You know what? I don't twerk.
Well, women are communal thinkers.
The type of dance that, you know, some women like my age do is a little more sexual than twerking. Like, you know, I think like the Caribbean girls would know something about, you know, whining and stuff like that.
That's whining. That's different.
Make me sweat. Make me holler.
Exactly. You know,
I ain't was talking about them niggas that used to hip roll back in the day. Y'all clown them niggas every day. Don't sit here and ask us why don't men twerk, because y'all don't like that shit.
I just got a question. I got a question for the girls that's acting uppity. Y'all wasn't twerking when Pretty Ricky was out. I know y'all was twerking, so y'all better cut it.
No, we weren't.
Y'all better cut
I was body rolling.
Listen,